Hey guys, how you doing? Ray here again. If you'd like to subscribe, it's Nitro Kyosho. I'm not using my high-def camera today, guys, because the high-def camera that I bought has 4 settings on it. And when I even put it on the lowest quality setting, making like a 4-minute video takes like 3 hours to upload. It's really ridiculous. And the last 2 that I made, I ended up having to convert it to get it to upload quicker, and then it kind of made the video not look too good. So for anything that's in the fields, I'm going to be using it. For the cars, the buggies, we'll be using the HD camera. But I think for these videos in the cellar here, I don't think there's a need to have high def quality. So we're going to use the old camera here, which will upload much faster. I don't know if it's a YouTube issue, if they're not updating their systems to handle HD, but even on the lowest quality setting, it just takes hours and hours to upload a video. Anyways, let's cut to the chase here. I made a video already on this. I might have actually even made 2, but I still get a ton of subscribers asking me this question, and I don't know if because I have so many videos now that they get buried and people can't find them. I try to give them the links, but they still have difficulty. So I'm going to make one final last video about this. And what it is I keep getting questions about how to tame these helicopters down. More or less, the smaller, the 450s, the 250s, guys that want to get into this want to make them a little bit easier to fly, to learn on. Now, some guys don't recommend doing that because then down the road when you want to make it fly a little bit different, it could be a little bit of a learning curve. But anyways, I'm going to give you my recommendations what to do to really tame this thing down a lot. The first things is if you got like a Spectrum controller or even a Futaba, they're going to be called basically the same things, all right, in either of the controllers for the most part. And basically what you're going to do, the first thing you're going to do is go into your dual rates. You have your dual rates and you have your expo. Dual rates are usually set around 100. And a dual rate, what the dual rates do is that limits the amount that the servo can travel, okay? So picture this being the servo arm, and at 100% it would be able to go to here. What we're going to do is set it to 80%, so we'll only be able to go to here, okay? And what that is going to do is that's going to cut down on how erratic the helicopter is going to handle, because it's not going to be able to make those sharp jerking motions, okay? You can limit these down to make these things so they can't even flip over. So it would be like a coaxial helicopter if you really want to go nuts, but we don't want to get that extreme. I think just by going from 100 guys down to 80, that's going to help, okay, as far as the servo travel. The next thing you want to go into is what's right next door to that, the expo, the exponential. Now, people get dual rates and exponential confused. Dual rates is how far, okay, the servo arm, the servo is going to be able to travel. Now, the exponential has nothing to do with that. This is a totally different thing. What that is going to do is that's going to dummy it up at mid-stick. It's going to make it basically delayed. So you move the stick to the right, and 5 minutes later the helicopter moves to the right. Not that extreme though, guys. But that's what that's going to do. It's going to kind of make it mushy at mid-stick. So the sensitivity, it's desensitizing it. Okay? Usually, now usually those are set at 0. Now if you go negative, it's going to be more erratic and responsive. Now, maybe that's something you're going to want to do down the road when you're starting acrobatics. But right now, I would suggest putting those from 0 up to about plus 40, okay, and leave it at that point. And that is going to help you tremendously, because when you're picking it up and you're hovering it, and you've got a little bit more leeway in them sticks. And you don't want to be moving the sticks really fast, guys, anyways. You want to be, if somebody was watching you, you want to be moving those sticks where they can't even basically tell you're moving. All right. You can also go into the travel adjust. All right. And now when you're in the travel adjust, whichever stick, say you're moving the throttle up and you're moving it down. Okay, there's going to be an arrow for each movement, whether it's elevator, aileron, rudder, throttle, and so on. So basically, if you hold the stick, if you put it all the way up, it's going to show you 100% throttle, and then you bring it all the way down. It's basically, it's showing you the amount, the travel is basically what that means. It doesn't mean really 100% throttle. It more or less, those represent that the stick is moving to its 100% maximum back and forth, okay? And what you can do there is you can change the throttle when the stick is up all the way and full throttle. You can change that from about 100 to maybe 80, all right? But record whenever you do these settings so you know when you want to go back someday and change them, you'll know what you did. And that basically is going to only allow your speed control to get up to 80%. As far as it's not going to be able to allow you to get 100% out of your power throttle. And that should be enough for the radio settings for the most part. Other than that, you can also, your throttle curve, you can set up a simple 5-point throttle curve, a basic one of 0, 25, 50, 75, 100. Throttle curves, guys, are the basically on your throttle, 0, okay, is all the way down. The 25, what that represents is 25%, a quarter of the way. What the 50 represents is halfway, 50% throttle. The 75 represents the stick being 3/4 of the way up, and the 100 represents it being 100% full throttle. Okay, that's what the throttle curve is. You can get, if you can get your hands on these little guys here, flybar weights. Now I know you can get these through E-flite. I don't know if you can really see them. They're just basically got a grub screw going through them. They're weighted and balanced, and you put them on the flybar up near the paddle, closest to the paddle. And the flybar, that's going to dummy that down, all right? The flybar, the lighter the paddles you put on there, the more responsive it's going to be too. The heavier, the more delayed and dummied down that's going to be. There's a lot of things you can do to these guys to change the way they perform. I have here in this package a set of carbon fiber that I tried on here, and I thought it made it out of control crazy. I mean, they were way too light. I left the stock, the flybar paddles, the Align. Now, Align makes a couple different of these, so you can check when you're buying them. If you're buying them online, they'll usually tell you how much they weigh. You know, I mean, you could actually, if you wanted to get even another step further, you could put heavier blades on there too, main blades. There is other things you can do, guys, but I think these are really the essentials and the basics. I mean, if you wanted to get crazy, you can also go into your swash mix too, and that can change the amount that your servos move also. But you don't want to get into switching too much stuff around, guys, because then it's a pain when you got to go back and change everything. But just the things that I told you should really, I mean, tame this helicopter down. And the things I told you about should really be all you need to do. I wouldn't mess with the swash mix and all that. But other than that, guys, you can really dummy this thing down to handle like what a 500 or a 600 would feel like. You can make them that unresponsive, you know, and kind of just, so you can really get a handle on hovering it. And you can change your settings as you feel more comfortable. You can go back and you can change the expos from 40 down to 35 or 30 to 25. I usually run mine around plus 20. I mean, that's where I like them. You know, sometimes you can change them if you want to do acrobatics. Sometimes I change them when I want to do different things, but nothing's set in stone, guys. But anyways, I thank you for watching this video, and I really hope that this helps you guys out a lot. And thank you for watching. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, it's Nitro Kyosho. Thank you.